Tourer is probably one of the most comfortable cars you will get behind the wheel of. Strange thing to comment on, the steering wheel. The steering wheel is one of the best wheels I've had hold of for a long time. If you think logically, when you drive a car, it is the most important thing. Equally, the gear lever. Superbly positioned, falls very, very easily to hand. Nice short throw, very, very positive. Everything from the driver's perspective in this car is excellent. Split dashboard. The high level speedo and the various readouts for the car are literally just on eye level, which is fantastic. The problem is, if you want to look at the ref counter, you have to look down. So it's a case of, it's very futuristic, but is it a design that works? The two sections at times seem remote from each other. They seem disconnected. Apart from that, nice car to drive, good visibility, as I've said, already very comfortable. If there is a slight downside, part of the car's remit is economy. To give excellent miles per gallon for a 1.8 142 brake horsepower petrol engine. The downside to it is, to get the engine to perform, the torque doesn't cut in till well over 4,000 RPM. By such times, the gear lever shift is desperate for you to go up the gears. So, to drive the car to get the performance out of it, you will completely blow the fuel figures. Honda claim 44 at least. The best we've got up to press is just over 30 miles per gallon. Equally, if you press the economy button, which is located down here, that reduces the car's revs and backs off everything including the air conditioning, the car does become extremely asthmatic to drive. The car in many ways is a compromise. If you wish to drive it economically, the car is not especially inspiring. If you want to drive it so you get the performance out of it, you'll blow your fuel economy and most of the reasons that you have probably bought the car in the first place. Likewise, you have three suspension settings controlled from down just below the heater controls. You've got dynamic, which is the sport setting, normal and comfort. Comfort is designed for long distance. Normal is designed for just every day, while the dynamic is meant to make the car handle. I'll be perfectly honest, I've tried it in all three settings over different surfaces. To me, there seems to be very little difference. I would say it's more of a gimmick than anything else. The other thing is, there's every chance you'll put it into whichever, in all probability, dynamic, and just leave it there. There's no reason to actually change it. As I said, very, very little difference when you're driving it. Apart from that, the car is comfortable, it turns in well, it's very responsive to the steering inputs, it's light to drive, it's very flat, it only shows the slightest signs of understeering when you push it into a corner, and that's when you're pushing into a corner at speeds normally you would reserve for, shall we say, a little bit of off-road driving. It's just nice to be in. It is undemanding of its driver, it's undemanding of its passenger. If you want to send on, yes, it will handle extremely well. Honda really have come up with a little estate car, or tourer as they call it, that delivers both in its practical capacity and ability to haul cargo and to reward its driver if they want to push on just a little bit. There's nothing at all wrong with the car. Not badly priced either. It's just the fact that the economy and the performance don't go together. The vehicle does need pushing hard to get it to perform, which cancels out the economy that you will have already got. The fuel figures, yes, you will get up into somewhere near Honda's suggested figures, providing you're sat on the motorway, sat at about 60. As I said, the economy mode most people won't use. Yet again, flick it on the motorway. But apart from that, the car becomes dull and unresponsive when it's in economy mode. But it's like anything else, try them for yourselves. These are only my opinions of what this car is like. nice and quiet to be in, nice pliant ride, whichever your suspension setting. It's just quite a pleasant environment to be in. As I said, the dashboard is rather futuristic. It looks good. As to how well it works, that is down to you. Personally, I would have made it so, besides the big speed readout, I would have made it that the ref counter maybe sat alongside it, so you've got the two linked together instead of them being so disconnected, one up there, one down there. But like anything else, Honda are very, very keen to promote and produce technology that takes them well into the 21st century and well in advance of other manufacturers. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. But it does seem to have worked for Honda because their sales figures are good, their cars are popular, and the one thing you cannot deny about Honda is their vehicles are extremely well made and extremely reliable. Prepared to forego your fuel economy, and you are prepared to keep the ref counter well above 4,000 to about between 4.5 and 5. The Civic Tourer takes on a whole new character. It really is an entertaining car to drive. It does have decent performance. You can capitalise on the 142 brake horsepower. The steering seems to sharpen up, really does turn in well, starts to exhibit a little bit of oversteer. Really is a great little car to drive. The practicality then becomes nothing more than a bonus, or you've got a performance car, a performance hatchback that just happens to be able to carry a lot of luggage around with it. It's easy to understand in this new motor, in the new Tourer, in the new Civic, as to why the Tourer version will continue to promote Honda's position within the British Touring Car Championships. It really is a great car to drive, but as I said, you have got to push it hard. Anything below 4,000 revs, especially if you change when the car says you could change, the car is remarkably dull. It does what it does it okay. It does everything okay. But the car is marketed as, to a degree, a performance vehicle. This vehicle will sell off the back of its achievements within the British Touring Car Championships. You can come somewhere close to that. You can get the seating position reasonably similar to the ones that Shedden and Neil will occupy. Long way back, nice straight legs, nice upright back position, steering wheel, given the adjustments, steering wheel out nice and close so you can drive with a good bent arm position. So in many ways the car does two things. It is an ordinary estate car, and regrettably emphasis on the ordinary. It doesn't inspire in any way. What makes the car suddenly start to inspire you is to get the ref counter needle round well beyond 4,500 RPM. Get it past 4.5 up to 5 just beyond, and the car genuinely becomes a great car to drive. The sort of car you want to get behind the wheel of, and as I've already said, this is a really nice steering wheel and gearbox to get behind. So what could at first be conceived as maybe a compromise isn't a compromise if you are prepared to accept that the car really does have two personalities. Treat it such and you will have yourself a very, very practical performance car that maybe doesn't get to Honda's fuel consumption figures, but is still more than acceptable. So my advice, go and get yourself behind the wheel of one of Honda's new Civic Tourers and try it for yourself. But remember, if you want to see what it will do, get those revs up.